Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sean, Denver real estate agent with Co-Listings, and this is your December 2020 real estate market update for the Denver area. I'm going to jump into some things that I think are quite remarkable and some data that I have never seen as long as I've been in the real estate industry. Stay tuned. Here's a quick summary of the things that we will cover in this video. Median days on market, months of housing inventory for single family homes, number of new listings, median sale price, mortgage rates, the Denver area unemployment, and I take your questions from social media. First up is median days on market, and we are sitting at 5 days. This is one of those data points that is truly remarkable and one that I have never seen as long as I've been in the real estate industry, which is about 9 years. And as you can see over on the right, the days on market for houses in 2020 has been significantly impacted by the pandemic. Now, days on market, the smaller the number, the faster the property goes under contract and closes. You can see here that we would normally see an increase on days on the market as we move into the winter months, as there are not as many buyers out there during the colder months going to take a look at properties during the snow and the cooler weather. Well, this year has been an exception, and we're seeing buyers out there still, even in November and December, competing for houses in that limited inventory, which we'll get to in just a second. Months of housing inventory for single family homes still sits at 1 month. We typically tend to see a slight uptick in housing inventory during these colder months, but we've continued with this extremely tight market with available homes, and I think this is going to continue into 2021. I don't even think that we're going to hit 2 months of inventory this year. December looks to be fast-paced and fast-moving anecdotally, and once we hit February, we typically tend to see an uptick in activity anyway. So we're almost through the winter months, and I think buyers are still out there shopping for that perfect house. Number of new listings is sitting at 2,613 homes. And again, you can see that 2020 looks very different from previous years. We have traditionally seen a clear peak and valley, but that April 2020 dip was due to the pandemic. We did see a very strong summer market. It has, for the most part, continued through the fall, when typically we would see a little bit of a slowdown. Median sale price is sitting at $510,000, and this is a data point that we continue to see increase even as we head into the typically slower months of the year. What I have found personally is that the buyers out there are still competing and still fighting for that limited inventory, which is a direct correlation with that increasing average and median sale price. Mortgage rates for the 30-year are sitting at 2.72, the 15-year is sitting at 2.28, and the 5/1 adjustable at 3.16. This is also another factor as to why we're seeing so many buyers out there, even in a traditionally slower season of the year for the Denver real estate market. Mortgage rates are historically low, and that was even after the significant drop back in November of 2019. So if you're a client or prospective client and you own a home and you closed on that as early as last year, you may be able to refinance and get a lower monthly payment. Let me know if you need me to introduce you to a mortgage lender or get in touch with the one that you used previously. Unemployment rate for the Denver area is sitting at 6.5%. That's in comparison to the national average of 7.9. So though it's not as low as what it used to be, it's good to see that that unemployment rate for the area is coming down. People are getting back to work. Now, it's important to keep in mind that in November, counties began to shut things down again, particularly around social activities like restaurants. It's yet to be seen how that will impact unemployment rate, but we might see a slight uptick just like we did when they shut things down earlier this year. Now, one question that you might be thinking is, will this new shutdown impact the real estate market? My guess is it probably won't, and I'm basing that off of what we saw earlier this year when counties and governments began to shut things down. A lot of the impact was centered on entry-level jobs in and around the service industry. So if this plays out to be true, this should not impact the types of people that would be buying and selling real estate. Now let's get to your questions. Is California moving there also? Well, I did some investigating on this and I couldn't find any data from 2019 or 2020, but the state of Colorado did publish an analysis on this, and it appears like California, Nevada, Texas, and Florida are some of the culprits who are migrating to the beautiful state of Colorado. Why is Denver real estate so expensive? Asked Judson. Well, expensive is relative and subjective, and it very much depends on the home prices that you're used to paying. For example, if you live in Oklahoma, you could expect to pay somewhere around $100,000 to $150,000 for a house. However, if you're in California, that entry point is between $550,000 and $600,000. So if you're coming from California to Colorado, you probably think that the housing prices in Colorado are a steal. How many people are moving here per month? That's a good question. The state of Colorado doesn't really do a good job at providing data on this. However, if we use US News Best Place to Live as a barometer, Colorado snags 4 of the top 10 best places to live in the US for 2020 and 2021, with Boulder and Denver snagging number 1 and number 2 respectively. Thoughts about an influx of new residents due to climate change from my Aunt Tricia. Thanks for the question, Tricia. Unfortunately, no city or state is going to be immune to the impacts of climate change, and so though we may see a larger influx in more dense cities like New York and DC and LA, moving to areas that are a little bit more sprawling, I would consider the Denver area as one of those cities. Denver and the state of Colorado are seeing climate change impacts, one of them being forest fires, and we had a number of them over the summertime. It was quite sad. A lot of people lost their homes, and those that live in and around the area were impacted by the smoke that these forest fires created. So it is something that I think we all need to be aware of and try to do our best to combat climate change and be prepared that no city or state is immune to it. Curious as to how many people are looking for new homes versus older homes? Well, this is a good question. We only have to look to the available of listings on the market currently to get a sense for what might be driving people to buy new homes versus existing homes. I have a handful of clients right now who are opting for new home builds because, number one, they can get exactly what they want, and two, it's not as competitive of a market. Now, the only disadvantage to this is that they're going to have to wait, in most cases, for that home to be built. 3 of the 5 active clients I am working with who are under contract are opting for new home builds over an existing home. What is the average days on market for homes priced at $1 million and up? Great question from Jen. Good to hear from you. Hope all is going well with you and your family. The answer to your question is right here in red. I'm providing a 4-year look back. We can see that in 2017, it was 94 days in the MLS, 2018, 80, 2019, 72, and as we speak right now with 1 month left in the books for 2020, it's sitting at 72 days as well. So the days on market for $1 million plus homes is the best that it's been in 4 years. In fact, I'm sure that if I looked even further back, it would probably look even more impressive. So we're looking at a little over 2 months to get a home sold that is $1 million plus, which I think is quite exceptional. That wraps up this real estate market update for December 2020. This will be my last market update for 2020, and I can say that it has been a wonderful year as well as a very sobering year for me personally and professionally, but overall I have a lot to be grateful for, and I hope those who are watching this video feel the same. Sean Mitchell, Denver real estate agent with Co Listings. I'll catch everyone in 2021.